Plumbing. According to the standards of practice, the inspector shall inspect A. the main water supply shutoff valve, B. the main fuel supply shutoff valve, C. the water heating equipment, including the energy source, venting connections, temperature pressure release TPR valves, Watts 210 valves, and seismic bracing. D. Interior water supply, including all fixtures and faucets by running the water. E. All toilets for proper operation by flushing. F. All sinks, tubs, and showers for functional drainage. G. The drain, waste, and vent systems. And H. Drainage sump pumps with accessible floats. These are the items the inspector shall inspect. The main water shutoff valve refers to the master shutoff valve that should be located where the house service main enters the building. The house service main begins at the street curb valve and ends at the inside wall of the building at the master shutoff valve. A homeowner should know where the curb valve is located. It is the way for the main water supply to be turned off. It is typically located at the junction of the public water main and the house service main, usually at the street. The curb valve is typically the responsibility of the municipal water department. According to the standards of practice, the inspector shall describe A. whether the water supply is public or private based upon observed evidence, B. the location of the main water supply shutoff valve, C. the location of the main fuel supply shutoff valve, D. the location of any observed fuel storage system, and E. the capacity of the water heating equipment, if labeled. These are the items the inspector shall describe. Inspectors should determine whether the water supply is from a private well or a public supply. If the inspector cannot make that determination, the inspection report should disclaim that system identification. It should explain that the inspection did not include a determination of whether or not the water supplied to the house was public or private. An inspector may recommend water testing of a private water source to determine the safety of the supply, but this is not required by the standards of practice. Home inspectors are required to inspect the water heater's temperature pressure relief, or TPR valve. The 2018 International Plumbing Code describes more than 12 requirements that a TPR discharge piping must meet, according to 2018 IRC 504.6. The inspector is not required to operate the TPR valve, but it needs to be present and it should have a proper discharge line and termination. Because a TPR valve may be filled with corrosion or debris, the operation of the valve may cause the valve to open and not close back again. Home inspectors should not operate any valves, including shutoff and TPR valves. The inspector must inspect the drain, waste, and vent, or DWV system, including fittings, indications of cleaning and gluing, support, and a cleanout. The inspector is not required to determine whether there are sufficient cleanouts. According to the standards of practice, the inspector shall report as in need of correction A. Deficiencies in the water supply by viewing the functional flow in 2 fixtures operated simultaneously, B. Deficiencies in the installation of hot and cold water faucets, C. Active plumbing water leaks that were observed during the inspection, and D. Toilets that were damaged, had loose connections to the floor, were leaking, or had tank components that did not operate. Functional flow. A home inspector may notice a significant drop in water flow when the bathroom sink, bathroom tub, and shower fixtures are all turned on at the same time. This observation may be communicated in the inspection report as a concern related to the flow in 2 or more fixtures that were operated simultaneously. In the 2018 International Plumbing Code, or IPC, Section 604, there are requirements for the water distribution system such that under conditions of peak demand, the capacities at the fixture supply pipe outlet meet a certain minimum. For example, the minimum flow rate at a bathtub fixture is 4 gallons per minute and 2.5 gallons per minute for a shower fixture. Imagine you were testing a shower fixture. You turned it on and there was a very low flow of water at the shower fixture, and this condition occurred while the bathroom sink fixture was turned on and was running water, which demonstrated the low flow of water. Further evaluation by a plumber would be recommended. Inspectors should report on the functional flow of water through the fixtures. The most common method is to run 2 or more faucets or fixtures at the same time. Significant drops in flow at an individual faucet during this test can be a sign of either poor supply pressure or partially clogged piping, which would require further professional evaluation. Some inspectors use a water pressure and flow meter, but this is not required. It is conventional and standard plumbing practice to install the hot water on the left side and the cold water on the right side. Hot should be on the left. In the 2018 International Plumbing Code, or IPC, Section 607.4, the fixture fittings, faucets, and diverters must have the flow of hot water corresponding to the left-hand side of the fixture fitting. Home inspectors may check for drain stops, pop-up sink drain stoppers that are missing or do not operate. The 2018 International Residential Code, IRC, Section P2711.3 states that a strainer, pop-up stopper, crossbar, or other device should be installed to resurrect the clear opening of the waste drain outlet. Toilets. Home inspectors may flush the toilet once or twice and watch for functional drainage and water leakage. Home inspectors may use the side of their leg to lean lightly up against the side of the toilet in order to determine whether or not the toilet is loosely connected to the floor. If the toilet moves slightly, the watertight connection between the toilet and its drain pipe may leak. It is difficult to determine if a toilet is actively leaking because a leak could possibly drip within the floor system and will not be readily visible or apparent. A toilet leak may become evident only after a significant amount of time after the toilet is flushed. Sometimes the leak will make stains on the ceiling below. According to the standards of practice, the inspector is not required to A. light or ignite pilot flames, B. measure the capacity, temperature, age, life expectancy, or adequacy of the water heater, C. inspect the interior of flues or chimneys, combustion air systems, water softener or filtering systems, well pumps or tanks, safety or shutoff valves, floor drains, lawn sprinkler systems, or fire sprinkler systems. D. Determine the exact flow rate, volume, pressure, temperature, or adequacy of the water supply. E. Determine the water quality, potability, or reliability of the water supply or source. F. Open sealed plumbing access panels. G. Inspect clothes washing machines or their connections. H. Operate any valve. I. Test shower pans, tub and shower surrounds or enclosures for leakage or functional overflow protection. J. Evaluate the compliance with conservation, energy, or building standards, or the proper design or sizing of any water, waste, or venting components, fixtures, or piping. K. Determine the effectiveness of anti-siphon backflow prevention or drain stop devices. L. Determine whether there are sufficient cleanouts for effective cleaning of drains. M. Evaluate fuel storage tanks or supply systems. N. Inspect wastewater treatment systems. O. Inspect water treatment systems or water filters. P. Inspect water storage tanks, pressure pumps, or bladder tanks. Q. Evaluate wait time to obtain hot water at fixtures or perform testing of any kind to water heater elements. R. Evaluate or determine the adequacy of combustion air. S. Test, operate, open, or close any of the following: safety controls, manual stop valves, temperature pressure relief valves, control valves, or check valves. T. Examine ancillary or auxiliary systems or components such as, but not limited to, those related to solar water heating and hot water circulation. U. Determine the existence or corrosion of polybutylene, polyethylene, or similar plastic piping. Or V. Inspect or test for gas or fuel leaks or indications thereof. Again, the home inspector is not required to do any of those things. Septic system. Evaluation of septic and other sewage systems is, likewise, beyond the capabilities of most inspectors. In many states, this is a separately licensed profession. Water filtering, softening, and conditioning. Water filtration and water softening equipment and other treatment systems should be evaluated and serviced by the original installers and manufacturer's agents.